Monsoon season is always a season of joy, but sometimes it can be a season of sorrow because of the infections and problems it brings. Let us see the health tips during monsoon season for us to stay healthy and fit. Hi friends, I am Dr. Karamat. This is Scientific Doctor channel. In this channel, health related explanations and tips are provided via videos which are released every week. If you want to see such videos, kindly subscribe to this channel. Also press the bell icon adjacent to it to get instant notifications whenever new videos are released. This week's video is about monsoon health tips. Now, what is so special about monsoons? Now, monsoons bring diseases. Now, monsoons bring flu, monsoons bring malaria, monsoons bring dengue. Now, even though these diseases are seasonal, now by timeline, so they happen more during seasons, the season itself is not the reason for these diseases. We know, especially after the COVID, respiratory infections like flus and pneumonias and common colds happen because of viruses and bacteria which are spread from person to person. But why do they happen more during monsoons? Viruses and bacteria also have preferred season for their growth, for their multiplication. So the conditions during monsoon are conducive for their growth. That's why more colds and respiratory infections happen during monsoon. Also during monsoons and winter seasons, what happens is more people stay indoor, more people stay together. This leads to cross infection from person to person. And as far as malaria and dengue are concerned, these are mosquito-borne diseases. After the monsoons, during the monsoons, there is always stagnation of water where there is breeding of mosquitoes. This leads to increase in such diseases. The climate itself is not the reason for such diseases, but during these climates, these diseases are more in number. And during monsoon seasons, because of the high humidity, you can have, because of the wetness in the skin and in the clothes, you can have skin problems and fungal infections happening more often. Monsoons can also result in waterborne diseases, especially if there is contamination of your water supplies. What are the tips to stay healthy, avoid such diseases during monsoons? First of all, first thing is water safety. So during monsoons, you can have mixing of or overflowing sewers. This can result in contamination of drinking water supplies. So always see about drinking water supply. If you can't ensure cleanliness or purified drinking water, use some method of purification like boiling of water at home or any other purifiers like RO or ultraviolet rays, any method of purification to get good drinking water supply. To avoid mosquito menace, to avoid indirectly malaria and dengue, chikungunya, other mosquito-borne diseases, we need to prevent this mosquito breeding. How to do this? Especially for Aedes, which is the reason for dengue spread. Aedes mosquito is the reason for dengue spread. This spreads usually in stagnant pools of water which are collected in a plastic paper, in a plastic wrapper, or in coconut shells or in flower pots. So any used cups, tea cups, all these can be sources of breeding of mosquitoes. So whenever there is monsoon, whenever there is rain, we need to ensure that our house and our surroundings in the neighborhood are free of any such material and water is not allowed to stagnate where there can be breeding of mosquitoes. Especially during monsoons, we often walk in these mud, puddles of water. You need to have a dry feet because a wet feet or a wet socks can result in fungal infections of the feet. So you need to have a dry feet. Especially in diabetics, these fungal infections and secondary bacterial infections can result in damage to the legs. So be careful. During monsoon also, we need to continue doing healthy exercises for our immune system. Usually, for the fear of getting drenched in rain, you don't go out, you avoid outdoor exercises. but at least continue doing exercises indoors. And during monsoons also you need to eat healthy, eat vegetables and fruits. Do not worry about getting cold due to fruits. As I said in the initial part of the video, your common cold, flu, all this is spread by viruses. They spread from person to person, and eating fruits and vegetables is not the reason for getting cold. Continue to eat fruits and vegetables during monsoon also. This will in fact help in boosting your immunity, thereby fighting or preventing these colds and flu from happening. What about getting wet in rains? Is it a direct cause for getting diseases? No, it is not a direct cause, but you can have contamination after getting drenched in rain. So it is always better to come home and get cleaned up. And because of the wetness, you can have skin problems and fungal infections. To avoid that, again come home and get dried. But just because you got drenched in rain, you are not going to catch a cold. And also, if you want to prevent yourself against flu, there is a vaccine available. Now usually monsoon is the season for flu, so you can get vaccinated against flu. Similarly, against waterborne diseases like hepatitis A or typhoid, again you have vaccinations. You can get vaccinated against these diseases also. For children, if you have missed some vaccines, again you can get them. So all this will help in preventing illnesses during monsoon season. Monsoon season itself is not the cause for diseases, but during monsoon season, more diseases specifically can occur during this season. If you follow certain precautions, you can avoid, especially for respiratory infections. As we know, during COVID, hand hygiene and cough hygiene becomes paramount. If one person is infected, if you maximally isolate or treat them with hygiene precautions, you can avoid others getting infected. Hopefully this video was useful prior to the monsoons. If you found this video useful, kindly share it among your friends and relatives. If you want to see such videos, subscribe to this channel. Till we meet again, bye.